Hey, I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Yep, podcast below in the description.
Also, visit our friends at wineaccess.com/ham where you get 20% off one bottle, 100 bottles, $15 bottles, $300 bottles. Great selection, satisfaction guarantee.
Wineaccess.com/ham. Go send a gift to someone. Do something nice today. Wineaccess.com/ham.
If I'm a team drafting and I like Kyle Pitts and Jamar Chase the same, and Kyle Pitts is a tight end, Jamar Chase a receiver, I save a lot of money if I draft Kyle Pitts instead of Jamar Chase, just based on what tight ends get paid versus what receivers get paid. And I started thinking about this yesterday when I saw Bruce Feldman wrote a piece in The Athletic, and in it he had a thing about Kyle Pitts that said Kyle Pitts, people think he could have been a defensive end if he wanted to be. Well, that would have been more financially smart for him too, because Joey Bosa got $78 million guaranteed. If you're an elite pass rusher, if you're an elite receiver, I mean, the conversation starts at $40 million, right? Guaranteed. Not like at signing, guaranteed. Might be 60.
Yeah, I think he got a 78. I thought it was 102 million, like actually guaranteed. Yeah, 78 signing bonus or whatever.
Yeah, I think the practical guarantees were over 100, just like they were for Myles Garrett. What did Khalil Mack get 3 years ago? $60 million.
And 90.
And 90. Hopkins got 43. Kittle and Kelsey combine for 43 guaranteed at signing.
I know.
Like, one thing I started thinking, if I'm Kyle Pitts, is there a way for me to hold out until they put it in my contract, I'm a receiver and not a tight end? The answer is probably no, right? The arbitration just comes down to where you line up.
But your rookie contract is not determined by any of that. Like, he wants to get drafted as high as possible. It has no bearing on his initial, because I think they would say, we're just drafting you. We haven't determined a position yet.
Right. And what I would say is, could you hold out to say, I know this doesn't affect this contract, but I know it affects my next contract. I want you to list me as a receiver. I want to be a receiver. So there's no debate.
But I'm going to play you as a tight end.
Yeah, and that's where it gets, and that's where you get trapped if you're him. They're like, well, yeah, we'll call you whatever we want, but we're going to attach you to the line of scrimmage. We're going to be like, arbitration hearing. Here's Kyle Pitts blocking a defensive end. You're a receiver, and Kyle Pitts will go, I'm not blocking any defensive ends. Right? Because the conversation with him is he's not Kittle from like a blocking standpoint, right?
No, he's Kelsey.
Most guys aren't.
But bigger.
So to me, there was such a value in Kyle Pitts knowing that he is going to cost me 20 to now maybe by the time he gets paid, John, the league changes. Because that's what's crazy about tight ends. The elite guys like Kittle and Kelsey, they are far more rare than the elite wide receivers, and yet you can get them at a premium. Yeah. By the time he's a free agent, maybe the league adjusts for that. But for the moment,
you don't have to pay a premium to keep him.
Yeah, that's the point. It's such a value.
Yeah, I mean, you fuck. I just don't know what he does because he is a tight end, right? Like I just think we went through this last year with Kittle, and clearly the Zenny is paying him on the side because he did not get very much money, and Kelsey signed for less. So I unless someone refuses to hold out, but like he's not holding out for any more money on this contract. Like this is not the time to draw the line in the sand. He's going to have to do it like he becomes a star and he becomes Kittle or Kelsey, and then he holds out in 3 or 4 years. To me, that's his move. Like there is no move to be made coming into the draft. In my opinion.
Yeah, no, I don't think there is. My question was, if I'm his agent, can I get it written into his contract that he's a receiver? Not for this contract, but for the next contract. And
yeah, but like remember Jimmy Graham's it wasn't about what I wrote, it was about how he played.
Well, exactly. But my point is like I'm not going to arbitration about whether I'm a tight end when it comes to franchise tag time, right? That's what Jimmy Graham did. And they're like, no, just look at the percentages. Now,
I don't think it says in your contract what position you play, though.
No, I doubt it does. What I'm saying is there a way to put something in that guarantees I get traded like a receiver when it comes time to get paid, right?
Yeah, it's not out of the realm possibility that if he becomes what everyone thinks he's going to become, that he's the first guy to really ruffle the feathers in 3 or 4 years. Because Kittle and Kelsey did not, right?
No.
They both signed. I mean, Kelsey signed a deal that was cheaper than Kittle's. Now, Kittle was at free agency. But I think we were both pretty shocked at the numbers Kittle's number was low, and then when Kelsey signed it and he took less guaranteed than Kittle even got, even though it was technically an extension, it was pretty nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe the league changes by then too, right? Maybe he gets maybe tight ends are treated.
Why would the league want to change?
Well, it's not that the league wants to change. It just I wonder if like the standards in arbitration would change.
But they don't. The thing is that the sweet ones are now under contract. Who really exists? I guess Waller would have a chance to create a stink.
Waller would be the guy.
There's only 3 or 4 of them, and 3 of them are under contract.
Like Jonnu Smith got 31. Hunter Henry got 25.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
they're even a defensive
sniffing.
Kyle,
think about Amari. Amari 2 years ago got 60.
It's crazy. This asset is so much harder to. I mean, just look at this draft.
I know.
There's 4 like top 12 level receivers, and there's 1 tight end. And all 4 of those, the worst of those 4 are probably going to get more than Kyle Pitts on their next contract as long as they're good.
Honestly, it's kind of bullshit. It's not kind of.
It's not kind of bullshit. It is bullshit. But if you're a drafting team, like I would value Kyle Pitts ahead of Jamar Chase if I thought they were equal prospects just based on that alone.
But it's just part of the deal. Like Orlando Brown last year had to move to left tackle on the Ravens when Ronnie Stanley shattered his ankle, was like, you have to trade me because I'm about to be a free agent and I'm not a right tackle.
Right. Because
a per year basis, the right tackle makes $5 to $6 million less than the top left tackle. Like you're like, I'm still blocking. It's not like I don't have to block the Bosa's and Khalil Max and Aaron Donald. What the fuck?
You know what he should do?
I would be furious.
He should. If I were his agent, I would like do some study, a Boris style study on like how many times Khalil Mack lined up against me versus how many times he lined up on the other side. Just hope that it comes out the same.
Well, the problem is I don't think the league, they're not disputing that you don't have to block these guys. It's just precedent. That's all it is. Precedent. And no one ever breaks it because it's bad for the league.
It's crazy.
Mahomes did, but no one else followed.
You said Mahomes?
He shattered precedent with just the length of his contract and everything, right. But he was such an outlier. Everyone was like, oh, that's just Mahomes. Right?
Also, with quarterbacks, you're like, the cost is only going up. I mean, they're going up for everybody, but with quarterbacks, it's probably he's an outlier. He's the best quarterback in the league.
I do think there's going to be a line, though, where someone has to draw with the quarterbacks of, yeah, we just don't think you're a $40 million guy. Like, we'll pay you 27, but we're not paying you 40. Like, that eventually is going to happen because not everyone is a top 5 quarterback. And there are going to be a team that draws a hard line in the stand. Like, yeah, you're just the 13th best guy. We're not – in baseball, it happens a lot. Like, the super, super top guy gets the $300 million. But there are a lot of guys that get, like, $120 million. Like, why doesn't that happen with quarterbacks? But it doesn't. And it's why a lot of teams don't have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
I think the reason it doesn't happen with quarterbacks is that in baseball, even the best players are worth a few wins, but they're not – you know, you need a lot of good players to be great. In football, you change everything when you add or subtract a great quarterback.
Totally agree.
Or a serviceable quarterback, right?
I agree there, but I'm just saying not everyone's worth the same price.
Yeah, for sure. What would be interesting when that happens is what does that person get as a free agent? Because that's what I mean. Is that not kind of that's what we talk about?
Well, like I think Derek Carr is a good example. Like if he makes it to free agency, I think we'd all acknowledge he's a good quarterback, but he's not like a $45 million quarterback, whatever he'll be at the time.
Right.
I'd have no problem paying him like 30. Like I'll give you 4 years, 30 a year. I'll guarantee $120 million, 4-year contract, every penny guaranteed. At 30, I don't want to ever hit the 42 mark though. That was my beef with Dak. Like $40 million, Dak. I'll pay you $28 a year, and they ultimately gave in. And we'll see. I mean, he's going to be a great case study, right? If they're just putting up numbers, but it's like, I'm fascinated to watch him because we judged him a lot differently than, when you make $800,000 than when you do $40 million a year.